here, and I think I'm going to turn my light on so I have sounds better. Okay, so I want to start by saying happy Sunday, and I was thinking about doing this. I wanted to do it, and then I was getting really nervous about doing it because I was afraid I wouldn't be able to get all my thoughts together. And what I realized is that I do think better when I write, sometimes, as opposed to when I talk. It depends on what the subject is. And sometimes, you may have experienced this where something just flows through you, and so you need to get it out at that time. And when I do that, that's usually, it's pretty much always when I'm writing. So I wrote some stuff out this morning, and as I said, I don't always remember everything when I'm talking, and so I did make some notes today, and so I may refer back to them. Hi, Patrick. Oh, nice to meet you. Okay, so what I want to talk about today is some of the myths around success, and the reason I want to do that is that I actually fell into a lot of the pitfalls, and it made me quite unhappy at times during my journey, which I started in 2004. So I've been doing this like 13 years, and I have been through a lot of ups and downs, a lot of joy, a lot of pain, a lot of tears. And so I know, a lot of the things that people get blindsided by, and that actually stops them from being successful because they think they're doing it wrong. So what I want to say first of all, and most importantly, is that no one strategy is the be-all and end-all. Okay, that's the most important thing to know. And so what happens is like, you'll get on a call and someone will be telling you, this is the way to go. You got to do this, whatever this is. You got to do LinkedIn. You got to learn how to do referrals. You got to learn how to do webinars. You got to learn to write books, whatever it is. And you do need to learn some things. You need to learn so that you have some strategies. And so let's see, it says swipe to the left to see your viewers. Okay. Do that. How do I do that? It's not letting me do it. Okay, well, that's not letting me do it, so I'm just going to go on. Anyway, so, the thing is they'll say, follow my way and you'll be rolling in money. And I think that was even more prevalent when I started, back in 2004. And people would say, oh, do this and you're going to be rich. Oh, do this and, you'll be laying on the beach and you'll be making money 24/7. And the truth is that actually since I started, things have changed a lot because people do want more authenticity, people do want more connection to people, and you don't get that when everything is completely passive. So some of that has changed, but that doesn't mean that there aren't a lot of things that you can't automate, because there are. But you have to learn to be strategic in figuring out what you should automate and what you really need to do live. So, one of the other things is, I know for me, have you ever wondered, like, you go on a call and people will tell you about case studies that they've had and, how great the people did, and then you try it and it doesn't work for you. And then you feel like that person just really, sold you a bill of goods, and, it's all a ripoff, and then you don't want to spend any more money on other things because you just feel like everybody's lying to you. And the truth about that is that no one strategy works for everybody. Okay, and so, one of the things that happens is, oh, hi, Syed. So one of the things that happens is that you end up going from, the shiny object syndrome. You go from one to another to another to another because you're looking for that magic bullet. And instead, what you should be looking for, oh, hi, Lorna. Hello. I wish I could, I guess I can see everybody. It's saying I have to do this thing to get it to show, but I'm seeing you. Anyway, so what you really have to, what you really should be looking for is when you're going, if you are, looking for thing to thing, is to look for what are the, what feels right to you, what's going to work for you. It has to be based on your passion, your skills, and what you enjoy doing, what motivates you, what makes you excited. Because if you don't have that over time, you're not going to be motivated and you're not going to want to do anything. And I have gone through periods like that in my business where I hated it. I didn't want to get up in the morning. I didn't want to deal with it. And at that point, the question that you have to ask yourself is, what else would I be doing if I weren't doing this? And when I asked myself that, the answer was, there's nothing else I want to do. I just don't like the way I'm doing it. So then I had to say, okay, well, how can I change it, and what's going to make me happy, and what do I enjoy doing right now? And so what direction do I want to move in for that? So, if you're just joining us, I was saying that sometimes my thoughts come out better in writing, and so I wrote some stuff out this morning, so I'm going to look at it periodically to remind me what I wanted to say. So, let's see. So, sometimes you do have to try something, and then, if it doesn't work for you, you go and you try something else. And so that's where, again, people get discouraged because they'll say, oh, I spent all this money and it didn't work. So, there are a couple of things that happen with that. One is, like I said, it just isn't right for you. I mean, I've done that. I've done different things where it just wasn't in my wheelhouse. It's like, I don't enjoy doing this. It's too technical. It's boring, and I don't like it, so I'm not going to do it. That's one reason. Another reason has been, okay, well, I'm reaching out to people. It's one-on-one, and I'm not exactly having a great time, and it's making me tired. So, if something is continuously making you tired, that's kind of a sign that that's not really the best way for you to go. So, that's another thing. And then, like I said, there are so many things that you can do, but just understand that there really isn't any one that's a magic bullet, and also none of them really work alone. Okay, like there are a lot of things that you have to do to have a successful business, and so anybody tells you, oh, just do this one thing and you're going to be successful, is lying to you. Okay, it's not true. It's just not true. And I think that's one of the things that people buy into, and then they feel, guilty and like, what's wrong with me when, it doesn't work. And sometimes it's not that it's not working, and sometimes it's even something you enjoy, but it still isn't working. And the reason that it isn't working is because there are several things that you need to do to be successful. It's not one thing. Okay, so here are the things that you need. You need to generate leads. Okay, you need to get people to know, like, and trust you. You need to turn leads into customers, which means you've got to have, you've got to either have a website, you've got to know how to talk to people on the phone, depending on how your business is set up, what kind of business you're doing. You've got to give great value to your customers. You need to have a follow-up system, and you need to have a system. So by a system, I mean, it's like, what problems are you going to solve for people? And, you only have to solve one to get started, okay? But that doesn't mean that your business isn't going to change and grow over time. I mean, when I started, I had the 3 Days to eBook Cash workshop. It wasn't called that in those days, but that's what it was. And then from there, people wanted to know how to market their ebooks, and so I created a marketing program called what was it called? eBook Profit Secrets, I think, or eBook Marketing Secrets. But over time, that became obsolete because we didn't have blogs and WordPress when I started, and we certainly didn't have Kindle. So we used to do ebook launches from my website, and actually it was pretty cool because you could make a lot more money than you make on Kindle. But that's what happens is that when things change, you have to innovate and find new ways to do what you were doing before if the new thing isn't working. So you're always growing and changing. And so what happened for me with the system was it became the 3 Days to eBook Cash, teaching people to write it. Making it a bestseller was number 2. Number 3 is eBook Marketing Secrets, where I teach people how to do a marketing program. Hi, Leela. And, okay, this is interesting. Invite. It tells me to invite you. Okay. All right, so this is telling me I have to invite people. So here I thought everybody was just watching. Okay. So, and then, all the things that you can do with a book. I mean, you can take a book and you can turn it and repurpose it into a lot of different things. So that's my system. But whatever your system is, you have to have one. Okay, and so that's what I'm saying is you can start with one and not feel like you have to know everything. And one of the other things that I see right now on in social media is a lot of shaming people. Like if you're just starting out and people will say, like I saw this the other day where somebody said, okay, like I think it was a copywriter. If you're a copywriter and, you don't have any money in the bank, then you can't, then don't hire that person. And I thought to myself, well, that's really interesting because when I started in this business, all I knew how to do was write, and I started out as writing copy for people. So, if nobody had given me a shot, I wouldn't have even been able to get started. Eventually, I decided I didn't really want to do that because it was always going to be trading time for money, and I found that a lot of times people want to control the copy because whether they like it or not, rather than whether it's selling for them or not, but that's a whole nother issue. But my point is that, you have to start somewhere, okay? And you have to start from where you are. And so, you can't be intimidated by other people's success or because, you're not making any money at it yet. So when you're not making money at it and you're just starting, I mean, I can't remember if I did some stuff for free for people or not, but I know that I certainly did things to get testimonials, whether it was free or very low cost, so that I could get, the credibility that I needed to do that. So, don't let that stop you, and don't let people intimidate you who say, oh, well, you're not successful, therefore I'm not going to hire you, when you're just starting out. So you have to do what you have to do, and you have to do what you know how to do. So that was what I wanted to say about that. The other thing that I wanted to say, and I think this is so important because I really fell into this trap too about this. It's like, okay, let's say, you sign up for a program and they tell you, okay, this is what you have to do and this is how you're going to be successful. And then you take that program, you spend maybe $500, maybe $1,000, maybe you even spend $5,000. And you take that program and you learn a lot, but you're still not successful. So again, it's because, and now a lot of people have become more specialized, but it's like one person teaches you, how to do webinars, and one person teaches you how to get referrals, and one person teaches you how to use LinkedIn, and one person teaches you, like me, how to write a book, market a book, repurpose a book, turn it into a coaching program, and all that. So what I just want to say about it is that I got very discouraged when I would buy a program thinking that it was going to give me more than it was going to give me. Okay, so in other words, buying a program thinking that I was going to learn how to attract clients and get them to sign up with me and become clients, when in fact I was only learning just one piece of that. So, part of that is that you have to be honest with people. You have to tell them exactly what they're going to get from what you say you're going to teach them. And that's fine. You don't have to teach them everything, but you have to be honest about what you're teaching them. Because otherwise, people get discouraged, they get angry, especially if they're on a payment plan and they don't want to pay you, So you have to be careful about that. But what I want you to know is a lot of these programs, they work. They all work. Most of them, work, okay? And, people have a lot of case studies and they share them with you. They definitely work, and those people are telling the truth. But as I said earlier, that doesn't mean it's necessarily going to work for you. It may or may not work. It may work and you may hate it. It may work and you may love it. The people who love it are the ones that end up doing really well with that strategy. The ones that don't love it, hi, Charles. Hi. If you have any questions or anything, let me know. Say hi. Send me some love, whatever you want to do there. My point is that, I forgot what I was saying there. That they all work, but that the people who succeeded, any one of them, is because they enjoy it, they want to do it, they're motivated to do it, any and all of the above. But if you're not, then it's not going to work for you. So that's really the main point that I'm trying to make here is, sometimes people, they get discouraged because something isn't working for them. They get discouraged because somebody promised them something that they're not getting. They get discouraged because they think that one strategy is going to be the be-all and end-all, and it's not. So, what I really suggest doing, if you can, and is to find something that's going to give you enough of a system that you can implement and really get some good results out of it. That's really the main thing, and so you have to learn to ask the right questions. You definitely want to know, like, and trust people and know that they are giving good information, but also that it resonates with you. Okay, that it's something that you feel you can do, that it's something that makes sense to you, that it's something that, you know, is going to benefit you long term. And one of the other things about that is you can, I don't know that you can ever really completely eliminate shiny object syndrome. I think we all go through it to a degree. But I think that the more focused you become, the more you really have a goal and a system and a mentor or somebody that you're following that, is teaching you something, to just go in that one direction. Just make that one thing work for you before you go on to something else. And, I know I've spent about $100,000 over the last 13 years, so I know all about this. But the thing is I have become, of course, much more discerning, but also it's not just discernment, it's also saying, okay, what am I working on now? And what do I need right now in order to get me to the next step? And what, is there a mentor that I need? Is there a program that I need? What do I need that's going to get me right to where I want to go next? But if you don't know what that is, then you may need to hire a coach to help you figure out what that is. And, that's one of the things that I do with my clients all the time. And we do use a book to help you do that, because a book can really help you focus in on what your message is and get really clear about it. And so that's why that's one of the reasons I love books. But, as I said, I'll tell you, I'm going to do a little plug here. I'll tell you that I believe that you do need a book. All the big people do have a book, and a lot of us have more than one. But, it's an important piece of the puzzle. But again, hi Mike, I'm not going to lie to you and say, okay, write a book and that's going to, that's everything. It's not everything. It's one piece, but it's one important piece because, it gives you instant credibility and expert status, but there's also a lot more that you can do with it. So that's one of the things that I look for now too, is if I'm going to do something, what's it going to do for me? Is it something specific that I want to get done right now? Or is it something that's going to give me a lot more, I hate to use this expression, but bang for my buck, because I'm going to get a lot of things out of it that I wouldn't get from something else, or it's something that I just love to do, that I'm passionate about and want to do. So those are really the reasons that I think, should help you to move forward when you're making decisions. And I think that, hi Susan, I think that, if you can think that way, think strategically, and then also just know that when you're looking at different programs and people's successes, that, that it may not do as much for you as you think, but you have to really be your own. In that sense, you have to be your own coach. I mean, you have to look in your own heart. You have to see what you like, what you enjoy, and then, find somebody who connects with that. And that's also, I've made that mistake too, where I've gone with a mentor who was trying to take me in a direction that they wanted me to go rather than where I wanted to go. And, part of what's going to make you successful is your uniqueness. So, like, one of the things has always driven me crazy is, like, when you see these people and they're offering, it's all done for you. They're going to give you the website and the, the emails and the product and everything. And then they're also giving it to, 1,000 other people. So, that totally doesn't work. So, you have to tune into what's unique to you and then plug into people who get you. And that is so important. I just had a conversation with someone just last week about that. And as I was telling him, not just what I wanted to do, but how I was feeling about some of the people that I worked with, and that I was feeling out of alignment with them. And he said all the right things about, parroting back to me what I wanted and taking me where I wanted to go. And so that's another thing about success is, you can plug into somebody's system, but if you can't individualize it to work for what you want, then no matter how good of a system is, again, it's in the long run, it's not really going to serve you, because you have to be able to bring something to the table that's your own. You have to be able to add something that makes you authentic, that makes you different, that makes people want to come to you instead of somebody else. So, it's that balance between having a system and then having your originality within the system. So I think that's really important for success too. Okay, so that's really what I wanted to share today. And if you came in late, I hope you'll go back and listen from the beginning. And that's it till next time. Bye-bye.